you want to just bring it up here, you can. I have pens. Thank you. Pencils. Thank you.
Is that every year?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. Because I know people that told me I got popcorn. Yeah, there's low-key don't sorry about that. Yeah, that one is like a no flavor one. Thank you. Yeah, does anybody need a pencil or Oh, no. That's not gay enough. What's really gay is me and this. I'm a boyfriend, okay?
You can go ahead.
I had to sneeze, sorry. How long does it take you to do your later? 30 seconds for audit. Alright. We're gonna get started. So if you're still doing your questions, you could just turn it over and I'll pick it up later. But okay. All right. So how is everybody doing today? Tired. You're tired? Yeah. Okay. Well, I feel that. But my name is Lesline. I was here like a few weeks ago. I don't know if you remember me, but I'm back again, and we're gonna be talking about a different topic. So based on the questions, what do you guys think the topic is? Being alone. Okay, yep, and there is, the question is there too. So I have another question though to ask you all. If there was one piece of advice that you could give your 10-year-old self, because I know nobody in here is 10, what would that be? Stop. Well, raise your hand, please. Stop acting straight because you're nervous. Oh, don't depend on anybody else for your happiness. What's your name? Anai? That's a beautiful answer. That is really good.
Go to therapy.
Go to therapy. That's good. You guys are very smart.
Yes.
Listen to your therapist.
Oh, that is really good. Go to therapy and listen to your therapist. That second part is very important. Yes.
You should pay attention in school because look where I'm at now.
Oh,
I'm getting better.
Yeah, that's the spirit. You're getting better, and that's the thing. We're getting better and better every day.
I used to just joke around in school. I feel like, oh, my grades don't matter. Now I scare myself over.
But you're here now, and now you know that. You're aware of that, right?
I'm trying not to sneeze right now.
All right. So, ladies, can I have your attention, please? Hello. Hi. Okay. So those are all great pieces of advice. If only we could go back in time, right? So one piece of advice that thank you. One piece of advice that I want to give you ladies today is that it is okay to be alone. That's something that I wish when I was your age somebody told me. And so it's okay to be alone, and that's the title of today's workshop. And as you can see, all the questions that I asked was related to being alone. And when it comes to being alone, I remember when I was in high school, I did so many things to distract myself from being alone because I didn't like spending time with myself. Like I didn't like it, and I didn't know that it was okay to be alone because I didn't see anybody around me practicing that or saying like, I'm gonna go spend time by myself. Like, do we hear that, you know? Right, it's not something that you really hear. So I was scared of it. Like, I remember I was in every activity you could think of, and National Honor Society, SGA, band. I was in everything to just distract myself because I didn't want to be alone. So I'm here today to tell you all that it's okay, and it's actually more than okay to be alone, and we're gonna go more into that because, yeah, we'll go more into that. So does anybody have any questions or anything coming up? Okay. You like this? Okay,
Yeah. I like your shirt and I want to know where to get one.
good. Well, that's good. Please talk and interact if something. Oh, okay. All right. So when you think of alone, I know for me, when I think of alone, and this was one of the questions on the test, I don't want to call it a test, but on the paper, lonely might come up. Am I right? Like, does anybody, when you think of alone, you think of lonely? What's another word that you think of when you think of alone, lonely? Sad, isolated, anxious. Emo. Yeah, okay, I know that. Yeah. I also think of like loner, like those type of words. And I feel like all of those words have such a negative connotation, right? And it makes you believe that it's not okay to be alone. And that's completely false. So anyways, there's two things I just wanted to separate and let you know, like alone is the physical state. So like if you're alone, like you're like, I'm gonna go be alone. It's you like removing yourself from a situation. And then lonely is the feeling of sadness or abandonment, which it's okay to have those feelings of feeling lonely, but it's important to have a plan in place. We don't want every single day feeling this way, right? So I have a question for you ladies. When do you feel lonely? Like, is there a time of day that you notice that you feel lonely? Okay.
Oh, actually, never mind. It's in the morning. I was gonna say, when my boyfriend doesn't call me.
When your
So
boyfriend
sad.
is, how
It is very depressing. I felt that.
yeah. So when he doesn't call you, and then what do you start thinking when he doesn't call you?
Well, I know he's busy, so normally like when he doesn't call me, it's for a reason. Other than that, we're always on the phone. But other than that, I just feel like I just like watch TV.
Okay.
Or, like, do my makeup or something to distract myself from not
Good.
like just sitting by myself.
Right.
Myself distracted.
And what is your name?
Angelica.
Angelica, I remember you from last time. So Angelica brought up a good point, and I was gonna ask her that question. Oh, can you guys like lower it down a little bit, ladies? So Angelica brought up a good point. When her boyfriend doesn't call her, she feels alone, she feels lonely. But then the question I was gonna ask, but she answers like, what do you do when you feel that way? And she was like, she puts makeup on, or she'll watch TV. She'll do something to distract herself. And that is great. And I want you to know also, like, there's other things we're going to talk about later. And obviously, you guys know me as the yoga lady. So we're going to do some yoga again later today, because that's something else that you can do when you feel lonely. Because it doesn't feel good sometimes. But I'm here to teach you that it can feel good to be by yourself, okay? So these are just some times, like, another like answers to the questions. You might notice certain times of day. I know for me, I feel my best in the morning. I'm a morning person. I love the morning, but I know not everybody is like that. But then as the day goes on, like as it gets closer to the evening time, that's when I start to kind of feel a little more like sad and like not in my best spirits. Also, another example of when you might feel lonely is moving to a new place, changing schools, like coming here and having to meet new people and maybe not wanting to interact with anybody. And that's okay. It's a new space, right? You're in a new space with new people you've never met. And then the last one I put, you might feel lonely after doom scrolling. I don't know if you guys know that word, but you're just scrolling through social media and you're feeling worse and worse and worse. Like you don't feel better.
Because you just see everyone else doing it.
Right.
It's that comparison trap, right?
I used to be a fan. So every single time I play flute, and
Guys, let's listen. Let's listen.
every single time, once I left to come here, I always see like in social media something about the band that they're doing. And they had like a movie night recently, and they had a banquet, which is like this like end of the year party they have to always do. And I just missed it because I had it last year, but now I don't have it this year because I'm here. And I'm like, this doesn't make me feel right anymore.
Yeah, that's really hard. I played the clarinet, but that's also
I have a lot of clarinet friends. Oh my god.
Yeah, and that makes you feel sad, right? And a suggestion with that, guys, can we lower our voices, please? All right. A suggestion with that, like, acknowledge, like, okay, I feel lonely, like, I feel sad. And then maybe, you know, remove those people from your social media so then you don't continue feeling that way, you know? So that can just be a suggestion because you can control what you see on your phone. That there's beauty in that. There's power in that. And I feel like sometimes we probably like don't remember. We can block, delete, you know? Yes. Yeah. My girl. All right. So moving along. So again, I'm pretty sure I've said this already, but feeling lonely it's a normal human experience, and this is from verywellmind.com. But again, like I said, it's important to have a plan. So like Angelica was saying, when her boyfriend doesn't call her, she'll then say, okay, I'm going to do something else. So like that's having a plan, you know? And so just keeping that in mind, like, okay, I feel lonely. It's okay to feel lonely. And then figure out something else you can do. And I'm going to give you other things you can do.
Honestly, I felt what Angelica said because my boyfriend's my best friend and he's like my only friend.
Yeah, well that's good that you have him, but it's also good to be by yourself too. It's also good to know that when like it's okay to sit by yourself and just listen to you. And I know, especially at your age, you're probably like, what are you talking about, lady?
I have this thing where I talk to myself.
That's good. That's good. Like having those conversations in the mirror, like those kind of things. Like that's all good things. All right. So these are some activities, because I know I keep saying there's other things you can do, like, because I know Angelica brought up she will do her makeup, she'll watch TV. So these are some other things that you can do. The first one, obviously, I put yoga. So we'll do some of that later today. Journal, which I know some people already do that. Yes. And then you could go outside. I saw some of you outside earlier today, and you're actually doing like two things at once because you're getting vitamin D, which from the sun, which boosts your mood, and you're spending that quiet time just listening to yourself. And I promise you might be like, but I don't know what to hear. Like, what are you talking about, Leslie? And trust me, sometimes in that silence, you'll think it's good. You could also draw. I saw some people draw here, so that you could do that. Yep. And then dancing. Does anybody like to dance? I'm not a good dancer.
I'm in color guard.
Oh, I was in color guard. We're the same person. I was in color guard too.
And now I can't because I was training. But like I still help. Like there's some middle schoolers that like to do it.
Yeah.
That, like I train them to like become into when they get in high school. Like do it. So all I'm doing is sitting out, making sure like that's not
That's awesome. Yeah, I was in color guard 9th through 12th grade, and I played clarinet from 6th to 12th grade. Yeah, and a little bit in college. But yeah, so these are some things. Does anybody have anything else that they want to add to this list of like what you could do when you're by yourself?
There's a difference between drawing and
Say it. Read. Oh yeah, I forget reading.
I'm a total book.
Duh. I should have. That was an easy one. All right. Moving on. All right. So we're gonna do a group activity, and I have here that I want you to write one thing that you admire about the person next to you. So whoever is sitting next to you, and some of you might have not. So like whoever's across from you.
Wait, is that what we're supposed to be doing?
Yeah, so I'm gonna. I'll give you guys a piece of paper.
We have to write down one thing.
Yes, one thing. Yeah, just a piece of scrap paper. Does anybody need paper?
What do you mean?
Get out. Yeah, I'm just gonna like. Do you have scissors? I was just gonna cut it. Okay, it's like take that. I guess I need like So for those that already have a piece of paper. So I keep talking.
And then our
I know it's dark, but I'm not too dark.
oh my god, this is
And then you guys, okay, yeah. So you write something you admire about her, and then vice versa. I don't have any more papers. Because these are the after the post question.
One thing you yeah, that's excuse me. You really said. She for real did that, Let me read about Magnus. You're right next to me, so you have to read the something you admire.
Hey, you know what you're supposed to be doing, right? Yes.
I swear to God, if you write only about my Eleanor, get out.
All right, so I think everybody's pretty much done. Raise your hand if you need more time. Okay, we got a couple more people. So as people are finishing up, what we're gonna do next is we're all gonna say the nice thing about that person. We're gonna one at a time say what we admire. So make sure it's appropriate. I should have probably said that as well. And I think you caught yourself. No, you're fine. All right, so we're gonna start over here. All right, so everybody.
We're gonna start over here. me first.
Oh, you want to start first?
Yes.
Okay, go right ahead.
What I like about my partner is like there's a lot of things that I like about her. She's so beautiful. So I'm gonna give y'all about 3 things that I like about her. I like her eyes,
Oh.
her mouth,
Okay, got
her
it.
heart.
Very good. Okay. And now you go since she said. Okay, very nice. All right, now your turn. Okay, that's okay. Angelica?
I put
Oh, the vibe, you like the energy that she gives. Okay, and that's not everybody. Hey. So Angelica said she likes the energy that what's her name? Aaliyah gives her. And see, that's not a physical thing. Because I know sometimes when we think of something that we admire about somebody,